Hey guys, Funky Music here, and a lot of questions about why I quit Twitch and just what's going on, why I came to this decision, and so I got a kind of a video here, just kind of breaking it down. I'd like to go talk about the direction of the channel, what's going to be happening, and just answering some of the questions that I've gotten about coming back and streaming and just everything that's been going on. So, um, why I quit? This is a very complicated answer that I hope I can answer, maybe even in a separate video. Exactly. There's a lot of stuff, but I'll try to cover it in this video. The best way I can sum it up without droning on about the details for 25 minutes is first and foremost my son. I know I've mentioned it before, but he will be starting school next year, and while I spend all my free time with him when he's not in preschool already, or when I'm at work, I know he will need all my attention from here on out, and I want to make sure he's doing well in school and in life, and so that's very, very, very obviously important to me. For those of you who are not a parent yet, and for those of you who are not mentally stable, I cannot begin to describe the feeling of being a father and how it changes you. People talk about it all the time. When you were growing up, they tell you, just wait till you have kids. But you don't understand what that means until you really have your own child. It does change literally everything. He's the greatest thing in the world, the greatest thing in the world. And when I'm long dead and gone, he will be the one person who remembers me and misses me. It's very important. It's a very important job that I have to do as a father, to raise him correctly and make sure I can do all that he can until he becomes a man. The other reasons vary in a degree of importance, but I'll try to list them off here and explain them in a bit. My health. Obviously, sitting in front of a computer for 4 hours a day is not a good way to stay fit, but it also doesn't help I work 12-hour night shifts. Since I've quit streaming, I'm a much more regular schedule, and I love it. I just woke up one day and was just like, what am I doing with my life? Everything seems to be passing me by. Everyone else is doing stuff, and a lot of this has to do with the fact that I became a father. I've had to change my lifestyle quite a bit. But I'm on a much more regular schedule. I go to bed. I'm up at 4 a.m. I'm able to work out, which is something I've been talking about doing for years. But I'm able to work out, go for a jog, come back, cook breakfast, get him around, get a shower, and get him to school on time. So every night I'm in bed by 10 p.m. I'm up at 4 a.m. So yeah, it's just great. I haven't felt this invigorated and ready to tackle the world in quite some time, and frankly, I love it. Time. I just do not have the time to spend all afternoon streaming while my son is in preschool anymore. Is it affecting my ability to get things done around the house that I need to do? I currently have 3 projects going on at this house that I have started over my summer break that I want to finish in September, that I never did get complete with me being on vacation. There was just a million other things to get caught up on. Although I plan to finish them this month now with my new freedom. Raid times have been appalling for me since Aurora died. Used to be I could get home, stream an hour after work until noon, and get plenty of rest. With the major decent guilds running a later raid time in Warmane since 2016, it has made my raiding near impossible at times. You guys know I would raid like twice one week, and then like maybe one time the next week, if that, or miss the entire next week. So it was like 2 times every 2 weeks. And it's just made it damn near impossible to enjoy my passion. Let me get the one obvious one out here. I'm bored. There's nothing I haven't done in games, or in the game, short of solo healing, 0 buff lighted on with a chicken shitting on my head, 1 tank, and 23 mages. I've literally played it to death and done everything there is to do. The only things that have kept me bringing me back were the constant challenges like getting around first, solo healing bosses, 0 buff lighted on, or some idiot running his mouth, which I do admit is a weak point, even now for me, as it's not so much them being morons as it is how much they influence others in the game and their thinking, and I don't want the new generation of players being tainted by these infernal shit tossers. Let's face it, the stream has been in a state of decay the last 3 years. My love for the game was dwindling after the Realm First was achieved. Every break I took to get away from being burnt out hurt the many players who were watching on a daily basis and came to chat. Again, I want to stress it was never about money or views. It was about the chat and the fun stuff we said in it. Each break, players would move on. Each break kept getting longer and longer. It was just a matter of time until we reached this point. The days where chat would be flooded with messages has died out a long time ago, and it felt if I was streaming to myself some days and made a boring game even more boring for me. Honestly, I feel relieved. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders when I just came to the grips and just realized, what the hell am I doing that one day I woke up and I'm like, I should just end. So I'm just glad to finally feel like a normal gamer again. I always felt like I had to do something in the game to keep people interested. I'm never one to sit there and do reaction videos or react to things in which more people join in. That's not my style. It's not who I've never been that. There's videos where I'm not so much reacting to some of the stuff that people are doing in the game. Or there has been a few videos where I've broken down some people's just plain old BS. I consider that versus just doing constant react videos like somebody like Assmouth Gold does 24/7. That's just never been my style. I just can't explain the feeling very well as some others may, and I don't want to sound like I was trapped because I pretty much did whatever I wanted to do. But I also knew what would make people come to the stream and chat. Sitting AFK for 45 minutes rambling on was not that. I know it's a cliche, but it's a huge weight. It's like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders, and I feel like I can actually play the game, or any game for that matter, that I want and how I want without the bother of always having to do something or be on for long periods of time. I'll admit I am sad. Again, I know this may be a crack in my armor, as I consider myself a no feelings kind of guy, and it is silly to feel that way about a video game, but it's just how I feel when I look back at all the great times and great things we did in the game. I look at it like this: anytime you spend a lot of time on something and you have to walk away from it, whether it's a relationship, building something or a project, or anything you were passionate about, it's always going to feel sad when you step away and have a chance to reflect upon it. It gets even worse in the immediate aftermath, as the first thing I wanted to do after I announced I was retiring was to take it back, but I knew I had to go through with it. Some of you guys were there the day my son was first born. We brought him home from the hospital. You were there when my dad died. You guys were through 2 breakups with me. Most of that was late night stream when I would talk about a little bit more personal stuff. But streaming and WoW has always been my escape into a place where I could forget about all the bullshit and just be myself again. I pride myself as a man, and I mean a real man who does not cry. In fact, I've cried a total of 3 times I can remember in the last 16 years. First when my best friend passed away, long before any stream. When my dad died, obviously, and the last time was the day I saw you guys. That day we had that emotional day where you guys had donated over $500 to the stream that day because of what was going through my life at that time with my son and all the stuff that was going on with me, him, and his mother. So ending something that has literally brought me to the greatest joy, or brought me the greatest joys from the depths of despair is very sad for me indeed. The old Aurora days. Of course, I cannot go without talking about my guildmates, friends in Aurora. The thing that made it so great was the camaraderie we had. Once you meet people that you have just had a lot of fun with, and you look back on it, compare it to now, it just doesn't feel the same. It's the same way I've felt since Aurora died. It just hasn't been the same for me. Sure, we weren't maybe the best ever on the server as far as speed kills or amount of kills or things like that, but we still did get all of our realm first, and we still had a hell of a fun time doing it. We didn't get a chance to do zero buff, but that was mostly to do with the fact that you couldn't change the buff back then. The cast of players and the splashes of character we had were second to none ever. Peck's voice, Joe's insane theories, Ava's yelling, Inari's weird persona, Lolly's youthfulness, Fef's speech, Chowrin's drunk talk, my rage. There are just so many people who were so much fun, and it truly was a blast to raid with those guys and have fun every single raid and every single late night that we were all on together. It was just something special and a time that we can never recreate or capture again. Those guys made the game fun in and of itself and even funner to play. There are only other times in gaming that I've ever felt like that. And when you do, it becomes more than just a game. It's a great time with great friends that you have something you always cherish and remember. What I will miss the most, I'll miss talking to the people on stream. I'll miss gifting coins and watching the chat go bonkers. I'll miss after the stream ends and dealing with questions and complaints for the next 2 hours. I'll miss the huge officer chats after raid. I'll miss doing random raids with viewers. I'll miss giving out advice. I'll miss the messages when I log into the game asking me how I'm doing or thanking me for making this guide or helping somebody out. I'll miss the cancer music, the non-cancer music. I'll miss sharing my life stories with you guys in the stream. I'll miss all the little things. So what's the plan on YouTube? So the plan is to continue making WoW videos, as I still have a lot of content I want to cover that I just haven't been able to do with the time streaming and raiding takes up so much. As the new Retards of Warmane, I want to do the new Retards of Warmane 28, the updated Warmane review. I want to do a couple things with healers, top fives, hardest healers to heal with, stuff like that. I would also like to do other video games as well, but I'll be sticking to games that I enjoy. I also plan to help out our current Wrath of the Lich King project that is in the works, as well as posting more personal things that I really have not done before in the past, such as things about being a dad and raising a child. I've always tried to make content that helps others, although sometimes I come off as an ass in those videos. It is for the greater good. YouTube will allow me to focus less time on having to stream 3 to 4 hours a day and allow me to focus more on working on a video here and there until it's completed. I also hope to be playing around with Sony Vegas and Adobe After Effects to come up with more visually appealing videos in the future. I hope you guys will all continue the journey with me here on YouTube. It's not the end of everything yet. I'm not going to stop making content and just disappear. Just simply the next step for me, and frankly, a long overdue step. As always, guys, I wish you the best, and we'll see you soon.